It's commonly said that there are only two wonders in the East: sunrise in Baghdad and sunset in Herat. Unfortunately, today few people can behold these beauties except the members of international peacemaking forces or closed organizations. However, the museum in Herat, the necessity of which is well understood by Afghans themselves, will probably return us to happier days. In 2003, the government of the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan offered the scholars from the Russian Museum of Ethnography to elaborate conception, thematic and exhibition layout of the future historical and ethnographic museum, which is supposed to be open in the Afghan province of Herat. Since then, 3 expeditions were successfully realized and the museum concept was clearly shaped. Up to date, there is only one historical museum in the entire country, located in its capital, Kabul. The idea of the project belongs to our Afghan colleagues and bases upon the acute need of all-national museum for modern Afghanistan, which would be arranged in accordance of the family of peoples principle. In other words, it should represent in equal proportions the culture of more than 20 ethnic groups living in modern Afghanistan. In opinion of Afghan partners, the necessity of such an explicit demonstration of ethnic equality becomes urgent in the country. The multi-ethnicity of Afghanistan forms its uniqueness and scientific attractiveness, for extraordinary civilization processes took place on this relatively small territory. Today, Pashtuns, Turkmen, Uzbeks and Tajiks live there, professing the same religion but preserving their national specifics. Such an ethnic diversity also requires particular state policy relating to protection of cultural polymorphism and development of cultural and national tolerance. The future museum should become an indispensable instrument for realization of this policy.
بله مردم افغانستان فعلا که در رخ بسازه شده و این رخ بر آباده شده رویسته مردم شوق علاقه در موزیم ملی بسیارتر دارن و خوششان میاد که تا که برای آثار باستانی را دیگه ببینن از نزدیک دیگه مردم دیگه علاقه‌مند است.
Historically, Afghanistan had common boundary with countries in which Islam, Buddhism and Hellenistic cults were practiced. It was the Afghanistan territory where Zoroastrianism, one of the most interesting religions in human history, emerged. Even today, the land of Afghanistan keeps unique remnants of ancient cultures. During 25 years, Hanum Fauziya has been keeping a collection of pre-Islamic artifacts from the province of Nuristan. Even Talibs didn't destroy them, although these extraordinary objects show an intercourse between man and woman in the most natural way. The history of Afghanistan attracts the most vivid interest of broad audience. But at the same time, our Afghan colleagues consider that the Afghan society yet is not fully aware of the value of traditional ethnic culture. Therefore, the museum focused exclusively at ethnography can't be expected to enjoy a wide success in Afghanistan. The ethnographic component of the museum can attract public attention if it has some air of exotics. The unique ethnocultural environment of Afghanistan, that is coexistence of several relatively isolated cultural and ethnical areas, which have remarkable distinction between themselves, will help the museum to become one of the most important institutions for shaping ethnocultural and civil identity of country's population. Of course, if everything worthy of attention would be gathered within the museum walls. Representing the culture of various ethnic groups from different provinces which are relatively unknown to general Afghan public will make the museum interesting for different social classes of Afghan population. During the last expedition, Russian scholars started to gather a collection of the future museum. Its base formed famous Afghani carpets and horse gear. They explored the areas of Kabul and Herat as well as the zones of nomadic camps. Due to the absence of respective profiling in Afghanistan universities, the Russian Museum of Ethnography works on the educational program for the future curators of the Herat collection.
ولی ما متخصصین افغانی البته در 30 سال جنگ بسیاری از کسا رفتن و نفر زیاد نداریم و به این سبب می‌خواهیم که نفر زیاد آموزش ببینه، ترین شود و وقتی شما گفتین که 3 نفر برن درس بخوانن ما واقعا خوشحال شدم و میتونن هم که دوره‌های کوتاه مدت هم اگه میسر باشه برای که موزیم راه بفته او هم امکانش است.
We support the plan of our Afghan colleagues according to which the museum can be housed in the building of ancient water storage. It dates back to 1680 and currently is being restored by the program of Aga Khan Foundation. Several years ago, the ward where the museum will be located was supposed to be destroyed alongside with many other old buildings in Herat, but the plans of creating ethnographic museum cancelled this decision. In experts' opinion, the value of this word consists in its character of vivid illustration of the living ethnographic reality origins in the modern Afghanistan, where the boundary between city and countryside so customary for Europeans is absent. Currently, this word is transforming in open-air museum. Due to this, the market trade goes there in the same way as 500 years before. From the middle of 19th century, Russia and Great Britain competed for influence over the country. In 1907, both empires had signed Anglo-Russian Convention recognizing integrity of Afghanistan. Afghanistan was monarchy till 1973, in which, after short military coup, the country was proclaimed presidential republic. Another coup d'etat took place in 1978 and it led to power the Revolutionary Council. In December of 1979, Soviet army entered Afghanistan and remained there till February of 1989. Limited Soviet military force actively participated in military operations that had killed at least 15,000 Soviet soldiers. The memory of these events is reflected in the Memorial of Herat. Its authors were obviously inspired by traditional mythology and bright images of Soviet painters of battle scenes. Soviet troops had been withdrawn and Mujahideen forces seized Kabul on 16th of April 1992. Since then, and up to date, military conflicts between various political fractions still continue. However, Herat stands as an enclave of relative political stability. One can only guess about the extent of political efforts made to maintain this stability, but it's the point that can allow to the scholars of the Russian Museum of Ethnography to continue their work on creating museum in Herat.
میراث‌های تاریخی مربوط به یک جامعه خاص نیست، بلکه از همه انسان‌ها و از همه تمدن‌های جهانی و بشری است.
They have so few qualities which are customary to us. Amazing inner dignity, curiosity and openness, sincere cordiality and intolerance to enemy, multiplied by capacity to ignore unacceptable arguments. However, time is merciless, and we can't allow ourselves to lose the last remnants of civilization, which will become extinct so soon.